We're going to call to order the council meeting on May 17th, 2022. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Place your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God.
It's for all.
Madam Clerk, would you be so kind as to call the roll?
Yes, Mayor. Yes, Mayor. A quorum is present for the City Council, Successor Agency, Housing Authority, Finance Authority, Parking Authority, Joint Powers Authority.
Thank you. For members of the public who wish to call in and give public comments, you have to use the option as I articulate right now. For the open session, it's 888-251-2949 or 215-861-0694. For today, the 17th, the access code is 873-7771, pound. Again, 873-7771, pound. Operator, are there any callers?
As a reminder, please also press #2 to enter the queue. And at this time, there are no callers.
Okay, with that, we'll close public comment for agenda items.
Would you like to go to the library, Mayor?
Oh, excuse me, are there any public members that want to comment from the library?
No speakers, Mayor.
Okay, thank you guys again for reminding me. And we'll close the library lecture hall public comment period. Item 1, CSA 1 and H1.
Warrant register.
Move allow payment.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members, Successor Agency members, and Housing Authority members, Dodson. Morales.
Aye.
Falk.
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Butts.
Aye. Madam Clerk, what's the next scheduled matter?
Yes, Mayor. The next scheduled matter is a public hearing to consider an ordinance adding Article 5.1 to Chapter 8 of the Inglewood Municipal Code regulating pedicabs and amending other relevant municipal code sections.
Has a notice of the hearing been given in a time, form, and manner as required by law? And do you have the affidavit on file?
Yes, Mayor. Notice has been given and an affidavit is on file.
Have any communications been received on the matter?
No communications have been received, Mayor.
Ms. City Manager, is there a staff report?
Yes, Mr. Harjinder Singh, Deputy to the City Manager, will give the staff report.
If you knew you were going to be first, Harjinder, why did you sit all the way in the back?
That's a strategy.
You want to make an entrance. All right.
He's buying us time.
That was ready.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I'm here to present an ordinance amending the Inglewood Municipal Code to regulate the operation of pedicabs in the city. Tourist cities such as San Diego, San Francisco, Santa Barbara, Huntington Beach, Santa Monica, and Long Beach have widely used pedicabs to alleviate traffic to downtown and resort areas. The city of Inglewood has also become a premier location for tourists and visitors to its various event hubs like the Forum, SoFi Stadium, Hollywood Park Casino, and future Intuit Dome. And we're receiving requests from various vendors to operate pedicabs during major events. Pedicabs are defined as bicycles, including electric bicycles that have 3 or more wheels, that transport or are capable of transporting passengers on seats attached to the rear of a bicycle, that are operated by a person, and that are used for transporting passengers for hire within the city. The attached ordinance will seek to require the following from any approved pedicab operator. Pedicab operator permit issued by the Permits and Licenses Committee, a valid business tax certificate, proof of insurance with indemnification for the city, an annual pedicab inspection for safety and cleanliness, prohibition of operating on any street with a posted speed limit in excess of 30 miles per hour, visibility of rates charged for potential passengers, and enforcement of illegal or non-compliant pedicab operators. In addition, the Permits and License Committee will be authorized to establish additional rules and regulations on any operator that requests a pedicab owner permit that will include pedicab service and safety rules, minimal vehicle equipment standards, conditions to receive a pedicab owner permit, responsibilities for the owner and driver of the pedicab business, and as well as an approval of specific route maps to ensure a safe operation. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any public comment on the line operator?
Once again, please press pound 2. And at this time, Mayor, there are no comments.
Okay, we'll go to the library lecture hall. Are there any members of the public in the library lecture hall that want to comment on this public hearing?
No speakers, Mayor.
Okay, we'll close public comment. Unless there are any council comments,
Mayor, I can make the motion to waive further reading.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Dodson. Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Falk.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye.
I'll introduce. Mayor, before we go to consent calendar, can I request that we remove item 2 since I was absent that day and I'd be able to vote on the other items of consent?
Oh, okay. Okay, so we'll pull item 2 and call item 2, Madam City Clerk.
Yes, Mayor. Approval of the minutes of the meeting held on April 19, 2022.
Move approval.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Dodson. Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Abstain?
Falk.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye.
Thank you, Mayor.
Nobody gave you any problem about not being there either, did they?
No, man.
I'm saying-
I was working while I was away.
Okay, consent count, items 3, and 4.
So moved.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Dodson. Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Falk.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. DR1.
Staff report recommending affirmation of a categorical exemption in compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act.
Move 1 and 2.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Dodson. Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Falk.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. DR2.
Staff report recommending receiving and filing of the list of eligible transit technology suppliers for the Inglewood Transit Connector project pursuant to resolution number 22-13 dated November 16, 2021.
Ms. Trifiletti.
Receive.
Good afternoon, council members. We are here at another important milestone for the Inglewood Transit Connector project. As you know, beyond having recently approved the environmental clearance, we have been working in simultaneous parallel paths on multiple fronts, including the procurement. And so we presented to you early on that we would be initiating the procurement process. As you can see with the red box, we're now proud to be talking to you about the short list of responders.
Gotta hold on one second.
Oh, sure.
I need to receive and file DR2, and this is DR3, so call DR3.
Yes, Mayor. Staff report recommending approval of the shortlisting determinations of qualified respondents to the RFQ-0129 for the design, build, finance, operate, and maintain services for the Inglewood Transit Connector project.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
Okay. Thank you.
As if it never happened.
We're just going down the process. Big milestone today. We had an evaluation and scoring evaluation panel made up of a broad expertise. We're very proud that Metro, LAWA, and the city had comprised of that evaluation panel, and that was supported by subject matter experts providing fact-based findings. And so all decisions here were made by the city evaluators and the scoring committee. And so we're here at this moment in time to talk to you about the list of technologies that passed the transit technology eligibility determination process, and then a number of teams that we're now presenting for shortlist approval. As part of the transit technology eligibility, we did get 7 responses. We were very honored to have a range of technologies, a rubber tire, a cable-propelled APMs, battery-powered. All of them had varying degrees of experience and capability in delivering Buy America compliant systems, and all are fully committed to complying with federal requirements. And again, as we go forward in the procurement process, you'll see that we have high, medium, and low costs in terms of technologies and infrastructure requirements. And only one of the responders was found non-responsive and is thus not eligible to move forward. As part of the short list on the DBFOM responses, we had a really wonderful list of competition, and we're so honored that the industry is so interested in our project. And we looked at, again, all responders achieved a pass in the pass-fail criteria for the administrative and the minimum technical experience and financial capabilities. And you could see how the scoring criteria was evaluated in terms of team organization, key personnel experience, capabilities, what was their project understanding, financial qualifications, and then again, the proposed benefits of equity to the project. And just as we said, we were going to shortlist, and here we're recommending the 3 ranked teams to be considered for the shortlist, and 2 of them not to move forward for shortlist. And so, again, this is just, again, to be brief, this is all happening where we're in a race against time. We've completed the CEQA process. We're working with FTA on the NEPA process. We're, again, standing up the joint powers agreement with the Metro and the whole JPA authority, and that's going to be before you actually next week. And now we just wanted to continue to move forward with the procurement, and an RFP will be forthcoming sometime this summer.
All right.
And that's it.
Before we call for the vote, I wanted to make one comment. For this project, the most important thing to do is find the right partner. We need teams with experience in constructing large transportation projects who know how to manage risk and avoid delays. This will be incredibly important to meeting our schedule goals. This is something we must make sure is an important factor in future procurements. Since we're pursuing federal funds, I know we must make sure that the selected team and the proposed technology is compliant with federal grant funding requirements, something that could cause delays if not properly managed. I'm looking forward to moving forward and continuing to hit our milestones. We want to ensure that the shortlisted teams now clearly articulate in their proposals what steps they're going to take to manage risks and delays so that we deliver the project on time. This is critical to me as we move forward with the process and as we make our final selection. We need to make sure that this project is done ahead of the Olympics. With that, is there a motion to approve?
Mayor, may I interject, please? Before you guys make the motion, there was a correction to the staff report and needed to be read for the record,
Okay,
if I may.
you may.
Yes, sir, thank you. On page 5 of our staff report, in the first paragraph, under the financial / funding issues and sources, the amount secured from California State Transportation Authority's Transit and Integrity, Rail Capital Program is shown as $595 million. However, the correct amount should be listed as $95 million. Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor, if I could just make just a brief comment.
Yes.
And I just want to point out what a great milestone this is for
Interesting.
this project. And, really congratulations to Ms. Tripoletti and her team as well as staff to get us to this point. I know that so many big numbers are getting thrown around, and even though I'm aware of some of the work that's gone on in the background, maybe she can highlight how we will assure that the project that we're getting is something that we can afford. I just want to put some of that on record since it's such an important milestone.
Sure. I mean, we have received 1/3 of the funding right now from the state. We are in the process with FTA to get funds from the Federal Transit Authority. We're seeking a CIG grant, and we're working vigorously with LA Metro and all of our technical consultant teams to achieve the CIG grant. as well as there's like no stone left unturned. So right now, we're in the process of pursuing state funds, and there's obviously a large surplus right now at the state looking at for transportation infrastructure. So we're working in concert with Metro to try to achieve all that, as well as every other state fund and federal fund that's available, including RAISE. We're looking at applying for MEGA. Every other grant that's available, we are applying for them all.
Right, and Mayor, you know, I don't want to leave congratulating the team and everybody, but you like few leaders, you've gotten involved with that process and going up to Sacramento. I know you're going to be going soon, and what I want to point out is that sometimes we just let things get through here because we know what's going on, but it's such an important milestone where we're at right now, and that I realize the role you've taken, and I know you weren't going to point it out.
I thoroughly appreciate that. But what the more important point that you made, and having Lisa articulated, is that we have not spent any city money on the process so far, not one dime. And it could be as much as a $1.4 billion, $1.4 billion project. And then so there's some people that say, well, you know, why don't the Clippers and the Rams pay for it, or SoFi pay for it? And what they don't understand is that transportation infrastructure is a city responsibility. And what they also overlook is the fact that every sports team that has come and built facilities and is building facilities in the city of Inglewood is doing it with no city subsidy. So this is just an acknowledgement that we're bigger than we were, and we want to make the future for future councils and future residents desirable and comfortable, and we want to advance in the transportation realm. So I really appreciate you bringing that up in particular, so that we can say once again, we're going after federal, state, and county monies, and we have a joint powers authority agreement with Metro on this project as well. And I also want to remind people that we've been successful in getting Centinela and Florence on the grade separation list to have it cross over Florence and Centinela, which will also help our traffic profile in the city.
Mayor,
That's huge.
and I have
Yes.
I wanted to ask a question too. So thank you so much, Ms. Trifoletti, for that. That report is very helpful, and I'm really excited about this project. I want you to know. And I feel really comfortable that you and your team are going to do a great job on it, because you have been doing such a great job so far. Outside of funding, another concern to me that could potentially be something that we want to make sure we address going forward is congestion and traffic. So it looks like we're going to have a huge construction site, like through the middle of Inglewood, from Market all the way over to our new sports venue. So do you have any updates, or do you have anything that you want to share with our residents right now about how you look to minimize the impact to our City of Inglewood residents as we're building the transit system?
Yes, as part of the environmental impact report, we have a construction commitment program and a construction community liaison, as well as a $5 million business assistance fund set aside for businesses that need support during construction. So we have dedicated resources for communication during that time period, as well as the contracts themselves that the teams are going to be bidding on as part of the RFP will have to demonstrate how they comply with the noise management requirements, the prohibited hours of construction, the maintenance of traffic requirements that we're going to include, as well as all, one thing that the mayor should be commended on, and what we're continuing to do, is all of the project labor agreement and local hire provisions to be able to give folks the opportunities to participate in this program during the construction. So we're looking at it really comprehensively.
Okay, thank you so much for that.
Well, hold on one second. Alex, and then Councilman Dodson.
Thanks, Mayor. No, again, it's funny because as we look at a couple years back when we talked about, making this a reality, and like anything else, folks were kind of apprehensive whether we would ever, actually do this, or are we just pie in the sky type of mindset? But as we've proven time and time again, city of Inglewood is doing things that are unbelievable in a positive sense, right? We've taken it to the next level. This is part of that. You know, I mean, the fact that we're gonna have something of this magnitude that's gonna help our traffic flow, and it's gonna get folks from point A to Z, all the way down to the Intuit Dome and back, right? And we're gonna alleviate traffic, because we're gonna be using public transportation. We're gonna encourage folks to utilize that. And you look at the funding, like the mayor said, you know, we're always looking at how we do this without using our taxpayers' money, right? So that these things are not something where folks can come back to us and say, oh man, you're spending all this money, and like the mayor says, you know, we all hear it about why isn't, you know, all these other organizations paying for it? And that's not what they do. That's not why they're here. And that's something that is public transportation, so we have to make sure that it's taken care of and done so that we don't, nobody else can run it and take it over because they pay for it per se. You know, but I just want to thank you and your staff. All that being said, because this is a great milestone. And I know yesterday I met with a couple of residents in District 2 to talk about this. And so they're excited about it as we are, so thank you.
Councilman Dotson. Thank you,
Thank you, Mayor.
Councilman.
First, I have to congratulate you and your team before I ask my question. I never thought this day would come. I'm very, very happy.
We got a long ways to go
We
still.
have a long ways to go still.
We celebrate the
About
steps.
600 million,
Hey.
but go ahead.
That's all right. I think
Heading the
I
right
think we'll
direction.
get it done. What I wanted to ask is, like my council member, I met with not two, but quite a few people about how are we helping the businesses who have to move out?
Yep.
Have they been notified?
Yes.
And is there a way or someone they can call to be helped?
Yes. We have notified businesses that would unfortunately be relocated as part of this program. And we actually have a survey request out to them to fill out so we understand their relocation needs and their facility needs, and I just understand, you know, a little bit more about all of that. So if they haven't completed it, I think we have not gotten everybody to respond. So we encourage everybody to complete it, and I'm happy to provide you information that you can share with the businesses that you spoke to. We do have a business relocation team to provide support. And then we have individuals that are ready to meet with folks anytime anybody is available. And we'll walk them through the process and the timing by when all of these activities would occur. And again, until we get through the federal environmental clearance process, and until we actually achieve the full funding grant agreements with the FTA, which again is some time to come, we will not be able to, in a position to offer any relocation packages. But we're doing all this proactive planning now, and looking at, you know, how we can create win-win-win situations across the board and keep the revitalization and good work of the city going as well.
And let me just piggyback on that and make this clear to everyone. We do not have the totality of funding necessary to complete the project. The project will not be done if we do not obtain full funding. However, it's a dance that has to be danced along the way. We have to do things like pothole. We have to see where utilities are and what the costs of moving those utilities would be. So if you're really serious about a project like this, you take the funding that you have, you take the steps that you can to move forward. And what that does is it adds to the likelihood that other agencies are going to invest in your project because they know that you're serious, that you are doing the work. And I would dare say that of any project of this nature in the country, we're further ahead than anyone could be. So just understand this. This is something that will not be done if full funding is not achieved. However, we're doing everything we can to make sure that we are the best candidate for full funding.
Right?
Thank you.
All right, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Falk.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. And Councilman Falk, I would caution you, though, that people were upset because the water truck didn't come 2 days on Centinela for the dust, so I don't think that there will be no complaints about construction.
I
All
don't
right?
think so either.
Not much luck there. All right. We go on to A1, the city attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. There's no reports from the city attorney's office.
Go to CM1, the city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. There are no oral reports from the city manager's office.
The successor agency is in session, CSA 2.
Yes, Mayor. Would you like for me to hold my comments till after CSA 2?
I would.
Yes, sir. Approval of the minutes of the meeting held on April 19th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Successor agency members Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
I abstain.
Falk.
Aye.
Chairman Buds.
Aye. And now, as we've waited for, CC1.
Yes, Mayor. I thought maybe, you were going to, shy over me because I say everything. No, I'm teasing. Thank you, Mayor. First of all, thank you to Councilwoman Falk for inviting me, and my deputy came out with me. We had a great time at the line dancing event last Friday. I was looking forward to seeing the mayor come out in two-step, but no, it was great. It was a great time. We had a really nice time out there. A lot of people came out to attend, and there were a few men out there. Want to make mention to our Inglewood residents that our sample ballot, you should have received it. If you have not, please contact my office and/or the county registrar, recorder's office. Also, you should have received your ballot. The official ballot came in the mail as well. Every registered voter received their official ballot in the mail. If you have any questions, please do feel free to give my office a call. We'll be more than happy to go over your ballot with you. We understand there are either two signatures or 2 votes needed on the assembly seat, so we need you to pay close attention to that. It's also our primary election where we're voting for our governor, et cetera, so pay close attention to your ballots this year. And then once you complete your ballot, be sure to sign your envelope. That is very important. Your address, that stuff is not very important to the county, but your signature is very important, and you do not need to put a stamp on your envelope. Just drop it in the mailbox, and it'll get to the county register recorder's office. And if you don't have time to fill out your ballot and you want to go to a voting center, voting centers will open May the 28th. The 11-day voting centers will start May 28th through June the 6th. They're open from 10 o'clock a.m. until 7 o'clock p.m. And then on Election Day, June the 7th, the polls open at 7 a.m. and they close at 8 p.m. That concludes my remarks, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll adjourn the successor agency. The Housing Authority is in session, H2.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting held on April 19th, 2022.
Move approval.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Housing Authority members Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Abstain.
Falk.
Aye.
Chairman Buds.
Aye. We'll adjourn the Housing Authority. Finance Authorities in session, F1.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting held on April 19th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Finance Authority members Dodson. Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Abstain.
Falk.
Aye.
Chairman Buds.
Aye. We'll adjourn the Finance Authority. Parking Authorities in session, P1.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting held on April 19th, 2022.
Move approval.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Parking Authority members Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Abstain.
Falk.
Aye.
Chairman Buds.
Aye. We'll adjourn the Parking Authority. The JPA's in session, JPA 1.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting held on April 19th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Joint Powers Authority members Dodson. Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Abstain.
Falk.
Aye.
Chairman Buds.
Aye. We'll adjourn the JPA. There are no appointments to boards, commissions, and committees. Public comment. Any persons wishing to make comment on matters other than on the agenda may do so at this time. Operator, are there any callers?
Once again, please press pound 2. And at this time, Mayor, there are no callers. Oh, I do apologize. There is one caller in queue.
All right. Go ahead.
Caller, go ahead.
Hello.
Please go ahead, ma'am.
Oh, hello, City Council. I was calling about what the young lady was talking about as far as the business that may need to relocate from the transit connector. Is there a list of businesses that may need to relocate? And when would that information be public?
Well, there's no list at this time. There's been contact made with potential businesses that could be on the line. However, the final line has not been decided as yet.
Okay, and then another question was about the funding, the FTA funding.
Mhm.
Who do we ask about getting the funding or not getting the funding? Like, how is it going to be determined if they're going to fund it or not?
The Federal Transportation Administration makes the ultimate determination. We, of course, are in contact with elected officials that have input.
Hello?
I'm here. We, of course, are in contact with elected officials that have input into the process, but the final decision will be made by the Federal Transportation Administration. And we're at time, ma'am. Thank you very much. Are there any other callers?
There are no more callers, Mayor.
Okay. Are there any callers at the library lecture hall? Excuse me, any other comments?
Yes, thank you. I know I will never be able to do the half of what Willie A.G. used to do and saying the great city of Inglewood, but I'm so grateful for all the things that are changing. I'm happy to be a part of the Getty's presentation Saturday. A shout out to Black Now, who did a tremendous job. And thank you, Mayor and the City Council.
Thank you, sir.
No other speakers, Mayor.
All right, we'll go to council comments. Councilman Dotson, District 1.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to share some pictures with you guys. I went by the Yola Getty 25th celebrating Inglewood on Sunday, and I was privileged to get a free lesson. I was in the drumming area.
Put his microphone.
I was in the drumming area, and the young man asked me if I would like to play the drums. I said, yeah. So he told me all the things I didn't know. But it was wonderful to be there and listen to one of the instructors who had given his little instruction about what's going on. There was a couple of things I learned that I did not know, that they have an after-school program. And for kids who would like to participate, please contact Yola, and because I think you'll really enjoy it. I know I did. Thank you so much, Mayor, and I wish everybody a wonderful rest of the day and a nice weekend.
Thank you, sir. Council Padilla, District 2.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, say life is good, right? Life is good. Life is good here in the city of Inglewood. There's a picture there with us over at the Yola Getty event this weekend. Again, you know, when we got up there, I think Eloy mentioned something about, you know, the dynamic changes that Yola has brought to our community and how they've engaged our young men and women and even some of our older folks to come out and get reconnected to everything that Yola has to offer, right? For music and all that. So, I mean, it's just nice. I mean, beyond nice. It's awesome to have that here in Inglewood, right in front of City Hall. So I just want to thank them for doing it here in Inglewood. It was the first one they've done, and I know there'll be many more big community events that'll be happening as we continue to move forward with YOLA. I said life is good. You look at the Centinela Street resurfacing project, and like the mayor said, yeah, dust is gonna happen, and things happen, right? But we address them, and we work with them. So I want to thank again, I mentioned this last week, Mr. Atwell and his staff that have been out there engaged with our contractors to make sure that we're doing everything we can to have as minimal an impact to our businesses. That being said, there will be an impact to traffic. I mean, as you move these projects forward, there's going to be a little inconvenience. There's a little bit give and take, but trust that when this is over, it's going to be, as I said, chulada, off the charts. It's going to be beautiful, because, I mean, it's just, I look at where Centinela was and the calls that we used to receive about, their potholes and this and that on Centinela, and now you're looking at, in just 2 weeks, the difference that it's already made. Yesterday, or a couple of days ago, they started digging out for the center mediums that are gonna go up and down Centinela and that's only from La Cienega to La Brea, the center medians. There won't be center mediums, hard center medians going further from La Brea to Florence, right? Those would be painted center medians, not raised center medians. The center medians that'll be raised, again, for clarification, there's gonna be just a few from La Brea to La Cienega. Okay, so, be patient and know that we're working as quick as we can to get this project done, but it's still a few months before it's completed. I want to thank Sabrina Barnes. If you get a chance to go by the District 2 Community Center, we have the billboards up on top, and one of them had been messed up during a heavy wind a little over a year ago. There's a new billboard up there that says, "Life is good." It's just someone sitting on the bench with the trees, just let us focus on how good life is. And let's keep that focus going. Let's keep that positive energy going. All right, so thank you and enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you. Councilwoman FAULK, District 4.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of announcements for me. First, Madam City Clerk kind of said a little something earlier and regarding the line dancing event that I held last Friday. It was a really fun event, and thank you so much, Madam City Clerk, for saying and letting them know none of these gentlemen showed up. So maybe I'll get them out there the next time. We're going to have another
lucky
one.
we didn't show
I thought
up.
it was a ladies' event. What am I, come on.
So we're going to have another one on August 12th at 6:30. It was a very successful event. We had lots of fun. I want to thank KJLH for coming out and DJing the event, and Blue Shield and LA Care who helped supported it with some giveaways and some other support. So thank you all for coming out. District 4, we had a really great time. And lastly, Mayor, I want to announce the save the date that myself and Madam City Clerk, we are doing the Women Rock Empowerment Summit. I'm sorry. Let me do that again. Women Rock Empowerment Summit. Yes. So that will be June 18th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We will be announcing some special guest appearances. Some of them are local to Inglewood. Right here. So anyway, looking forward to having that event. That will happen at the Senior Center. So please mark your calendars and please plan to attend. It will be an awesome event for women empowerment. We'll have workshops, keynote speaker, and again, some guest appearances. So looking forward to that event as well. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman, she didn't say. Council Morales, District 3.
Thank you. I'll also thank Yola for setting up and, really making that investment. It's going to take us a minute to get our crowds out there, so to make that connection, I'm looking forward to it. I hope they continue to do those type of events. I wanted to say that every time those events happen, it gives us an opportunity to kind of showcase ourselves as a city. And a lot of people that show up for these type of events, it's the first time that they come to an event, sit outside, hang out in Inglewood, and what they take back with them is what's important. So I just want to thank Yola for that. Also, I want to remind everyone that I think it's on Thursday, May 20th, you should have received notice in my area for the free smoke detectors that our emergency management is working in conjunction with, I think, Red Cross to put out free smoke detectors. And if you haven't signed up and you want to, please dial my office. You can call us at 310-412-8603. It's a great program, completely free. They'll install them. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so, I'm going to also mention the Yola Getty event that was Saturday and Sunday. Things are just changing in the city, and I was very proud to be there. We had some terrible things happen in the last few days. In Laguna Woods, a gunman attacked a lunch banquet at a Taiwanese church in Laguna Woods, killing one person, wounding 5 others before the congregants tackled him, hog-tied him with an extension cord, and grabbed his 2 weapons. Dr. John Cheng of Laguna Niguel charged the suspect and attempted to disarm him, which allowed others to intercede and disarm and detain the suspect. He lost his life in that effort. Dr. Chung was a hero. On May 14th in Buffalo, New York, 10 people were killed and 3 were injured in a mass shooting at the Tops supermarket on Jefferson Avenue in Buffalo. Law enforcement officers are investigating the tragedy as a hate crime. And here's what we know about the victims so far. 11 of the victims were African American, 2 of them were white. 4 of the victims were store employees. Out of the 3 hurt, 2 have been treated and released from the hospital. If the video is available, there's a description of the lives of the persons that lost their lives. Go right ahead, Thomas.
To remember the 10 victims of Saturday's shooting. Aaron Salter of Lockport was 55. He was the store's security guard and a retired Buffalo police officer. Buffalo Police Commissioner Joseph Gramaglia called him a hero in our eyes. Ruth Whitfield of Buffalo was 86. She was the mother of former Buffalo Fire Commissioner Garnell Whitfield and a devoted wife, grandmother, and great-grandmother. Ruth was on her way from visiting her husband in a nursing home and had stopped at the store to get something to eat. Pearl Young of Buffalo was 77. She ran a food pantry in the Central Park neighborhood for 25 years and fed people every single Saturday. She was a mother, grandmother, and also a substitute teacher. Catherine Massey of Buffalo was 72. Her family says their Aunt Kat loved art, dancing, and was known for her sense of humor. She wrote for The Challenger and the Buffalo News and worked at Blue Cross Blue Shield before she retired. Deacon Hayward Patterson of Buffalo was 67. He would often drive people who needed transportation to the Jefferson Avenue store and was helping someone to load groceries in their car when he was killed. Celestine Cheney of Buffalo was 65. She had 6 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchild. She was also a brain cancer survivor. Roberta Drury of Buffalo was 32. She had recently moved here from Syracuse to help her brother recover from a bone marrow transplant. A friend of hers told us she was full of life, caring, and happy. Marcus Morrison of Buffalo was 52. For the last 4 years, he worked as a bus aide for First Student. He had gone to the store that day to buy chicken for dinner. And Andre McNeil of Auburn was 53. We just heard about him from Claudine. He was a father, a brother, an uncle, and a friend, and he was at Tops that day to buy his 3-year-old son, who you just saw, a birthday cake. Geraldine Talley of Buffalo was 62. She leaves behind 2 children and had just learned that she was about to become a first-time grandma. She and her fiance Greg spent the day at the foot of Ferry, and then they went to Tops to get cold cuts for lunch.
And so with that, we send our prayers out to the families, and we'll adjourn the council in the honor of Dr. John Ching and all the victims from Buffalo. We're adjourned.